Hi guys, this is Mr. Assassin and I'm here today to continue my reviews about Tower of God. As I said in the previous commentary, in the previous movies, I need to get up to date with this series. So I think today I'm going to cover the next three chapters, 31, 31, 32 and 33. So I'm going to try to go through them a bit faster, but not faster in the sense that I will be missing any points, but I will try to make the connections I want to, and the speculations that I have, my conclusions, I will try to link them better so it will be less time consuming. Okay. Good, I think that's better. Okay, so what do we have in these three chapters? We learn a bit more about the tower, and as I said in the previous chapter, the tower itself, it's it is a very strange structure. The tower has an unknown number of levels of floors. It could have 100, it could have 1,000, we don't know yet. Each floor has an administrator, and you need to make a contract with the administrator to limit the level of Shinsho that you can use. Otherwise, you will not be able to pass the test for the next floors, because the floors themselves are like computer levels. The first floors are not so hard, but as you get further up, the floors are getting harder and harder. Also, I'm speculating this, but I think the level of Shishno that you can agree upon with an administrator will also go higher. Like, for example, if on the second floor you can get to the first level, maybe 10% of your power, maybe on the 40th floor you can go full power, or maybe not, we'll see. I don't know how the percentages work, but as you climb the tower you can use more and more of your power, or you can build up more and more power, because this contract with the administrators works both ways. For people that are very powerful, it limits them. For people that are very weak, it makes them equal to the ones that are more powerful, so it brings them up to the task, I might say so. Anyway, I'm deviating. So the tower is all made up of Shishno. The administrators that are on each level control the flow of Shishno through their particular levels. The pockets that are given to the participants can connect them to the structure of the tower and the administrators. And the pockets also hold the points for each student, the points that they accumulate from the tests. Now, points are also used to buy food. We learned in today's chapters that if you do not take the test, you cannot eat. So the lower you score in your test, the less and less food you will have, and that snowballs because the less food you have, and the less food you have, the less energy you have, and you will do worse at the next test. You will get a lower set of points, then you won't be able to buy food, and so on and so on. It's a repetitive process. Eventually you will fail, and you will stop at one floor. You cannot get from that floor above that floor. You cannot get above that. So that is very important about the structure of the tower, that you cannot have food without test points, and you cannot have test points without a proper training. Okay. Um, so I will talk. I said I will do a discussion video about the structure of the tower and about the Shishino, about what I think it is. I'll probably do it this Saturday. We will see. Next, we learn a little bit about the Zahad princesses, the Jahad princesses. Uh, Apparently, um, the princesses are not allowed to date, so they cannot have any. They cannot marry and they cannot have any children. And let me get into this right now. Um, Apparently, the first being, because we don't know if he's a human or if he's something else, but the first being that ever made a contract with the administrator, the first one, was Zahad himself, Jahad, Jahad himself, and we don't know how long ago was that, but we can assume that it was a long time ago, and he was the first one to ever contract with, to ever had contact with, ah, to ever have contact with an administrator. So we can assume about that if he was the first one to contact an administrator, he didn't have a pocket. He just contacted the administrator. Perhaps he found a way to contact him and then created the pocket as a easier way to contact the administrator for each floor. So he might be the responsible for creating the pockets that each competitor uses in nowadays. Zahad reached an upper level. I think he's the most powerful of his tower. Nobody has ever gotten to the point that Zahad has gotten to. So let's say, and this is just theory. I'm not saying that it actually did this, but just for our better understanding. Let's say Jahad himself reached level 80. Nobody else was able to reach level 80. But 10 families that are currently known as the, well, not royal families, but the great families, have gotten close to the level that Jahad is on. So let's say he reached level 80, maybe they reached level 75, 76, 77. They didn't get to where he was, but they did get pretty close. So out of those 10 families, those great families, became children like Kun, for example. Kun is a child of one of the heads of one of the 10 families. That's a mouthful. Anyway, what Zahar did, he didn't want to have any children, and we can speculate on this. He didn't want to have any pretenders to the throne, because he was the one who reached one of the biggest levels. He was known as the king of the tower, and he was known as the king of the tower, and perhaps he didn't want any successors to his power, so he didn't want to have any children. But for his own protection, he chooses children from other families, from the great, well, not only from the great 10 families, but uh, a bigger percentage. Let me explain it again. If there are 10 great families and Jahad needs 14 princesses to choose, 14 children to choose from, maybe he chooses 10 from the 10 great families and 3 from other families. So the percentages of children that are chosen from the great families is greater. And many children have the right after they pass certain tests, certain trials, they gain the right to be called Jahad's daughters. And that's another thing. He only chooses girls. So he only chooses girls again because he doesn't want any pretender to the throne. If he chose a boy, that would be a prince, and it would be maybe the boy when he grew up he would challenge him to for the throne. Maybe that's his thinking, we don't know, that's all theory right now. But he only chooses girls, and there are many girls that pass the trials of Jahad, and they are called the Jahad princesses. They have no relation to one another. Or maybe some do, but mostly they don't have any relations between them. They do not have Jahad blood because they are adopted kids, and out of that multitude of children, Jahad only chooses 13 princesses that are his generals, in a way of saying, and he gives each of them one of the 13 months needles. And we all know about the Green April, the Black March, and there will be more to come. So perhaps I will put a picture somewhere right here with the structure of the Zahad family as we know it until now, because we're going to get more information as the story goes on. But I'll put a picture with his family and the way things are going right now. Good, so that's his strategy. He chooses princesses. The princesses act like his generals, his bodyguards, and they cannot marry. They can't even have a relationship. And that's because, again, when a princess is chosen, when she goes through the trials, and we do not know what the trials are, it's some secret ritual, but when she gets chosen, Jahad bestows his powers upon her. So basically he gives the child, because they are all little children, he gives them a part of his power, and we don't know the exact process, but again, that's the reason he doesn't want to have he doesn't want them to have any children, because if they have children, some of his powers that he bestowed upon them will leak into the child, and he will lose some of that power, and also again pretenders for the throne will show up. Let me see if I missed anything right here. Okay, no. Good. So let's return to the chapters that we are on right now. We get to see that Andosi Zahad and Anad Zahad have to fight in the fisherman test. Remember, the fisherman is the main position of a team, and there are a couple of fishermen. They are on these poles. The purpose of the test is not to fall from the poles. The poles are very high up, and if you fall, even if you are very powerful, you're still going to break a leg, an arm, something like that. That will get you disqualified from the fight, because and disqualified from the test, because you cannot fight in that state. So the main purpose is not to fall from the poles, and the second purpose, if you can do it, is push the other competitors, push them to fall from the pole. One interesting thing right here is that the instructor, the main peer lady that is telling them the rules, she's flying, and this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we see someone able to fly. and she's hovering above them and she's telling them the rules. Her name is Hex, I think, and she's telling them if they fall they are disqualified. If eight players remain standing, then they all pass to the next one. Of course, Androsi thinks that nobody is going to be able to challenge her and that she can just chill. But we can clearly see that Anak is trying to challenge her and trying to kill her. They have a bit of go around in which we can clearly see their powers, and we see that Androsi is a bit more powerful than Anak. She gets Anak mad, and Anak uses a technique that strength that gives more power to her body. It's called gaining strength by Shinsho. So from what I understand, the principle is that you enhance the muscles from a part of your body with Shinsho, or you enhance your entire body with Shinsho. But since they've just learned that technique, they can only use it on certain members like a leg, an arm, etc. So they have Anak and Androsi have a bit of go around. They fight each other. A lot of the other competitors are thrown off the poles because of their fight, and in the end they both fall. So you can say they are disqualified. But what's more interesting is not the fight, but the story behind the fight, because Androsi already knows that Anak is a fake princess. She never passed the trials, and she was never chosen as the princess of Jahad. But she has one of the one of the 13 needles, the green apron. So that was highlights that, how should I say this, raises alarms. Why someone that is not a princess with one of the 13 months series? And the answer to that is given to us by Kun, because and I'm going to make a parenthesis here. Kun is learning his lighthouse training, and again we see something about the structure of the tower, because the lighthouse is like an internal Wikipedia for the tower. When you go into the lighthouse, you are able to search information about certain events, certain persons, famous persons. So it's like a Wikipedia, like an internet, where internet is stretching it, because you cannot search for anything, but you can search for events, tactics in battle, certain individuals. And Kun searches for Anak, and he sees that Anak Zahar is already dead. And so the lizard that is currently fighting Androsi cannot be Anak. But Androsi already knows this, and she suspected that the one she was fighting, the little lizard, was actually Anak's daughter, and that she inherited the green apple. And that was basically the case. And as you can already tell, Anak, the mother, was one of the 13 princesses of Jahad. Sorry. Okay. So the mother was one of the 13 princesses of Jahad, but she fell in love with someone, and they ran together to create a separate life. So she actually defected from Jahad's army, and when he learned about this, he learned that she was pregnant. She sent the assassins after her, and let me not get into this right now. But basically she ran away, she had the daughter, she gave birth to the daughter, the current Anak, and then the assassins came. And we can already tell who the assassins are because we see that her daughter is rescued by Evan. And we all know Evan from chapter 1, the guide, and Evan is a friend of Yuri Zahar. So you can logically make the assumption that the assassins that came after Anak Zahar, the mother, were Yuri Zahar and the troops she has right now that are coming to take back the Black March. So the mother dies, Anak Zahar, the mother dies, but they never find the Green Apple because the Green Apple was with the daughter that got rescued by Evan. And that's how she came to be in this position. She has the Green Apple, but she hasn't got the power of the mother, which would be far superior to anything we saw until now. And basically I think that's everything. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, that's everything from these 3 chapters. It's a quicker video today, and that's because I will make my conclusions. I mean, not my conclusion, my theories. I will talk about my theories. I talked a little bit about them in this movie, but I will talk more into detail in the movie that I will make on Saturday. And until Saturday, I will try to advance a little more with the chapters, maybe do another movie tomorrow. The more we advance with the chapters, the more I have I can talk about these things and what I actually believe about the tower, about Jahad, about his army. So yeah, I'm gonna start right here now, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. So rate, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.